Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners, and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while, and if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So you have clicked on today because I am going to be revealing my progress on the fairy dust cowl crochet along. Now, I have mentioned this in a previous video as I told you I had planned to make this project. One of my hashtag 24 goals for 2024 was to revisit mosaic. I have done a few tiny little projects of mosaic. We did dabble in mosaic in the Tile of the Week segment, but I haven't actually done a big project. So I wanted to dive head first into a mosaic, and this one just captured my heart. It is whimsical, it is enchanting, it is magical, it is very Manfa, and I just wanted to take part. Now, it is being released as a cowl. The designer is Rosina Plain, which means every week you get the next part of the crochet along, and people are doing it part by part and keeping up with it. Now, I am not doing it as a cowl per se. I am just collecting the parts of the pattern as they get released, and I am just working on it in between my mountain of other whips as and when the fancy takes me. And this will be a gift for somebody that I really hope will love it. I am making it for a work colleague of mine. We have become incredibly close, and actually you will be seeing this on Monday, and a couple of days ago on Saturday I actually made the nearly 2-hour drive to where she lives to hang out with her for the afternoon to catch up, because unfortunately she has been posted to a different prison to work at until September. So we have been separated through work, so we are making the effort to still keep in touch and keep building on that friendship in our personal time. And yeah, we met up, we had a lovely day, it was absolutely gorgeous. And to top it off, on the way home I drove under the arches of a double rainbow, which signified to me that this friendship is meant to be and one to last and to stay. And it kind of fits in with the magical theme of the project that I will be discussing with you today. Now, I will put links down below as to where you can get a hold of this pattern. You can get the full pattern without having to wait for all the parts from Etsy. You can also on Ravelry get them part by part as the crochet along continues. Yeah, this was released part way through June. I believe there have been 4 parts released so far, and I believe there are about 8 parts. I might be mistaken, but I think that's about right. It is a paid for pattern, guys. It is not free, but in my opinion it is very much worth the money that she is asking for it on Ravelry, and I think Etsy as well. She is known as Rosina Crochets, but she is actually Rosina Plain. She has collaborated with Stylecraft for this one. Stylecraft is a brand of yarn here in the UK, and Stylecraft did put together some yarn packs so that if you wanted to do the pattern using one of the sponsored yarn packs, you could. I chose not to. I chose to dig into my wonderful, beautiful stash that I am oh so proud of, and to use some of what I already had without buying more. But the packs, the colorway packs that were put together are absolutely stunning, so that is an option. Obviously, if you do not live in the UK, the packs may be slightly tricky to get a hold of. Like I said, I haven't looked into that, but it is an option should you wish to investigate that a little bit more. And like I said, I will put the links to both Ravelry and Etsy down below if you are wanting to purchase the pattern also. But it is paid, okay? You do need to spend some money, but like I said, I believe it is fully worth it. Now, I have printed out the introduction and each of the parts that I have been given so far Apart from part 4, actually, I haven't printed out part 4, but I am nowhere near part 4 anyway. I have done, there is a little bonus pattern that you get within the introduction that you use to maintain gauge, to make sure you're using the right hook for the yarn that you're using, to get the size exactly how her size is. I'm not worried about the size. I didn't gauge swatch. I just picked the yarn from my stash, grabbed a hook that I thought would work, and I've just gone for it, guys. I am winging it, but it's turning out okay as far as I can see and as far as I can tell. I'm enjoying it anyway. But I used that little bonus pattern as an extra little strip along the bottom of this blanket, and I will repeat it again at the top so that they both match. That is an extra, that isn't part of the cowl, so to speak, but I included it because it is sparkles, and you can't have a fairy, you know, mystical, enchanted themed project without sparkles, in my opinion, and it is just my opinion. So I did add that extra pattern to my blanket so far. Here is what it looks like. It is the fairy dust. It is overlay mosaic, and overlay mosaic is my preferred way of doing mosaic. There is, of course, the inset style, but I also went for this one because it was overlay. Now, these pictures here show you the different colour packs that are available if you wanted the colour pack. You have the Pixie colourway, the Elf colourway, the Sprite colourway, and the Nymph colourway. But like I said, I am just using yarn from my own stash. And as you can see, there are some fallen leaves right at the bottom below the toadstool houses. We then have a strip of daisies. We then have those gorgeous fairies and dandelions and other flowers in there as well. Another strip of daisies, a strip of butterflies, and then the border. Now, like I said, I have added a section of sparkles along the bottom, and I will include a section of sparkles along the top before I encase it in the double border or envelope border to tidy away those pesky ends. Because if you are not familiar with overlay mosaic, you start from the right, you do your row, you cut your yarn. You then join the next colour, do your row, cut your yarn. So there are tails, a lot of tails up the sides of your piece. So by doing the double border, the envelope border, you've got a border on the back, a border on the front, and you sandwich those tails in between both borders, and it makes a nice thick squishy border as well. So I do intend to do that double border, envelope border, whichever way you want to say it. I have managed to get the section of sparkles done. I have also completed the first part, which is the fallen leaves, and I am only just a smidgy bit into doing the toadstool houses. You cannot tell that I've started the toadstool houses, but I have started that section. So I thought this was a good point for me to come on and show you my progress. Now, just to give you a little bit of an update on the yarn that I chose, I originally planned to do 3 skeins of the Hobie kind feather white, then go into that big giant ball that I had in stash to do the main body of the blanket, and then to finish off on another 3 skeins of the Hobie kind feather. Now, I switched that up a bit. I actually weighed that big ball of white that I had, and I think I had something like 296 grams. And I thought, you know what, I want to use that big ball in its entirety to get it out of my stash. So I just started, because white is my background colour, my main colour, and the pattern itself will be in various colours in my stash. So I did switch it up a bit, and I'm hoping that I will get quite a way through this pattern before I need to use the Hobie kind feather. It may mean that the bottom of the blanket is a completely different texture to the top. I'm okay with that because the person I'm gifting it to does not crochet, doesn't have any idea about fibre arts and different yarns or anything. It will get a good wash when I have completed the project, and hopefully it will kind of feel a bit more cohesive once it's been washed. But even if it hasn't, she can pick whether she likes the top end more than the bottom end as to, you know, where it touches her body when she's using it. So I really don't think it's going to be a big deal. I hope it's not going to be a big deal, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So the big massive ball of white, I need to be careful. I don't know whether I'm attached to anything. I can't remember. No, I'm not. So that's perfect. So I have been using some of this big old ball of white, but as you can see, I still have quite a bit of it left. So there is still a lot of work that can be done with this big ball. I am using a 4.5mm dots to do this project. Hang on, let me get my hand behind it because it's not picking up the numbers very clearly. Get my face out of the picture. There we go. 4.5mm dots. That is my hook of choice for this project. And then I have used 2 colours so far out of my stash. Now you may be able to just about see these cakes here. I only have 5 colorways left on my shelf because I have picked 5 colorways to put into this blanket. Now this is the Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze Prince DK. I got this from the Wool Warehouse here in the UK because it is a UK yarn. And I have used 2 colourways so far. Now I'm not going to show you the colourways that are going to come after. When I do these progress videos, I am just going to show you the relevant yarns to the relevant section that I am showing you. So for the sparkles, I decided to use the colour 2D030, this rainbowy one here. This is either a chain spun or a chain blown yarn. I am not an expert. I don't know the difference between the two. So it is super squishy, super lightweight, absolutely gorgeous to work with. There is a slight halo, as you can see, on the top of this yarn. And thankfully, I haven't had to frog too much, so I haven't had any issues with frogging. But as you can see, it is a lovely rainbowy, multicoloured yarn. And it is the Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze Prince. I will read you some of the details because even if you don't want this yarn for this project, it may be a yarn you want in your stash. Remember that this is, I think it's exclusive to Wool Warehouse, but that is definitely where I got mine. They are 150 gram cakes or 5.25 ounces. There are 435 meters or 476 yards per cake. They are 67% cotton, 33% acrylic. You can cool wash up to 30 degrees, cool iron, cool tumble dry, do not bleach. You can dry clean using P, and they recommend a 4mm knitting needle and a 4mm crochet hook. I went up to a 4.5 because I am notorious for crocheting super duper tightly, so I did go up a smidgy little bit. The white is acrylic yarn as well, guys. This is 67 cotton, 33 acrylic, but it is easy care. It is washable, tumble dryable, and you can use a cool iron on it. So it is easy care, which will be great for my work colleague if she needs to launder it. So that is the colour that I used for the sparkles. And then for the fallen leaves and for the toadstool houses, I chose the shade 2D070. Now on the Wool Warehouse's website, they do have colourway names, but I didn't take a note of those, unfortunately. But because the fallen leaves signifies autumn to me, I thought this was a nice autumnal colour for the leaves themselves. And then I wanted to carry on with it because obviously traditionally toadstools are white and red, and I didn't want to do any kind of tapestry kind of stuff. I just wanted to do row by row, and the closest to a ready toadstooly colour is again this one. It isn't actually red in any way, it is multiple shades of oranges and yellows and perhaps a more burgundy shade of red. But I'm just going with it, guys. I am loving how this is working up. I am loving using this yarn. It is a yarn that I would highly recommend. It is so super squish. The squish factor is incredible. Like I said, I haven't had any issues with frogging, and thankfully I haven't had to do an awful lot of frogging. So I will just flip through this pattern before showing you mine, how these patterns are supposed to look. If I can actually find it, bear with me, bear with me, bear with me. Come on, folks. I am looking for the bonus pattern of the sparkles to show you. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this without showing too much of the pattern. That is just a small little representation of the sparkle section. And I will show you what my sparkle section looks like, just a smidgy bit of it, and then I will unravel the rest of the blanket as well. So here are my mosaic sparkles, using that rainbowy multicoloured. This is all the ends that I was talking about, guys. They will be hidden in that double border, that envelope border. But those are how my sparkles turned out. And like I said, I'll give you the full overview in just a little minute. So that was the sparkle section that I added, and I really loved it. As soon as I got going, I was like, yeah, mosaic is my jam. I love it. Okay, now the next part is both the fallen leaves and the mushroom houses. And this, oh, fuzzy, sorry, do apologise. I have done the fallen leaves, and I have only just started a few rows of those mushroom houses. So these are the fallen leaves down here. I have done those, and I have just done a smidgy bit of the bottom of these toadstool houses here. So I still have a lot of the mushroom houses to go. But that is the part that I am currently working on. So I'm not going to go any further into the pattern than that. We are going to do it bit by bit along with what I have managed to work up. So here is just a little representation of a fallen leaf. So I have completed the fallen leaves, and this line of colour here is the beginning of the grassy bits of the mushroom houses. So I have done the sparkles and the leaves, and I'm just starting those those lovely toadstool houses, the mushroom houses. So that is my progress so far. It doesn't look a lot, but guys, you have to do a line of main colour, a line of your pattern colour, a line of main colour, a line of pattern colour. So there is quite a fair few rows in this already. But here it is. So as you can see, those beautiful sparkles at the bottom there, those beautiful fallen leaves all the way to the end this side. I love the colour changing yarn, the variegatedness of it. I love how it is looking. Now, if you have been an avid viewer on my channel, you will know that I have already released, prior to this video, a couple of shorts giving you sneak peeks of my progress. So some of you will already have seen some of this, but I did want to come on and give you a proper look at what I have managed to accomplish. Now, the beauty of mosaic as well is that the back is lovely and neat. You don't have any flappy stitches, you don't have any yarn carried over, you know, that you could snag things on. It is very, very neat and tidy, and it's quite a funky striped look, to be fair. So that is how the back of the mosaic is turning out as well, just to give you a better representation. And if I get a bit closer, you will see that there are no snaggy bits to this blanket at all. It is nice and flat, and it will be lovely to lay on top of your lap or whatever you want to do. Now, if I had have tried to meet gauge, then I think this is supposed to be like a single bed size. I think mine is going to be slightly bigger just because I did go up in hook size, and the colourful yarn is slightly thicker than the white, but I do think they balance each other out nicely. I am trying to be as neat and I don't know, try and make this like some of my best work, because it is going to be gifted to someone I really, really care about, and I really want to get the most out of doing this. My edges are pretty straight. I don't have any lumps and bumps. I'm not going off at an angle. That is one edge there. And here is the other edge. Now, it has been sort of folded up in my bag, guys, my project bag, but I am super happy with how my edges are turning out. Really pleased that I decided to add that sparkle section at the bottom, and again, that's another reason why my blanket will be slightly bigger, because I did add that extra element to the bottom. Most people just started with the fallen leaves, so I did add on a fair few inches, at least 2 to 3 inches with those sparkles, and there'll be another 2 to 3 inches of sparkles at the top as well. But I highly recommend this designer. Love this pattern, love the whole theme of it. This is it folded in half. This is it in quarters, so it's quite a manageable size to keep in a project bag. But Rosina really has done some beautiful work within her pattern. She gives you both written instructions and charts, so it doesn't matter which type of pattern you prefer to follow, because both options are in there. She gives you both the UK and the US stitches that you need to use. And another beautiful thing that Rosina has done is she has come up with her own universal terms. So you don't have to keep converting between UK and US. She's come up with her own list of universal terms. So just one example, because it is not my pattern, but she has used the letter E for your edge stitch, and the edge stitch throughout this pattern is a UK double or a US single. So whenever I see an E, I know that I am putting in a US single on the edge stitch. There are a few others, but it's not my place to tell you that. I don't want to give too much away because of copyright. I do not own the rights to this pattern at all. So if you are intrigued, if you like what you see, check out the 2 links down below for both Ravelry and Etsy. Remember, it is a paid pattern. I am so pleased that I decided to put mosaic as one of my goals this year, guys. I forgot how much I do enjoy it, and to just see the pattern emerging in front of my eyes is just such a lovely experience. Please, please, please do not be intimidated by mosaic. I have heard a lot of people say that they are, but seriously, guys, if you can do single crochet, double crochet, back loop, front loop, and a chain, you can do this. You do it row by row, and you snip off at the end, join your next colour, do the row, snip off, join your colour, do the row, snip off. So it really is much more manageable than what it appears to be. Honestly, I really do highly encourage you to check out some mosaic patterns. Personally, like I said, I prefer the overlay mosaic. I know some prefer the inset, but either way, please do not be too frightened to try mosaic. It really is highly, highly enjoyable for me. You may be missing out on something that is highly enjoyable for you. And there are some absolutely stunning mosaic designs out there. There are some fabulous mosaic designers in our community. Honestly, give it a whirl. Be brave, dip your toe in, have a go. And maybe find like just a little the pattern repeat, rather than do a whole great big long, you know, section of it. Just do it as a square. Just do it as a sample piece to see if you can get to grips with the techniques and how to do it. And then if you can manage that square, you can do a big blanket project. Honestly, I have also seen mosaic incorporated into wearables. You name it, you can do it, guys. And I just love it, and I was just so excited when I stumbled across this crochet along. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do it with the guys that are doing it as a crochet along, you know, keeping up with it, because like I said, there's now been part 4 released and I'm still on part 1. But you know what, it's the year for Manfa not to over pressurize and not to stress herself. So I'm just doing it in my own sweet time, as and when I have the time to work on it, and that is making me love it even more, that I haven't got the pressure of a deadline looming over me. And also, I hope it made a really lovely content video for you guys to watch. I do hope you enjoyed that. I will again come back at some point and give you another progress video, another update. I'm not going to say it's going to be once a month or anything like that. It's just as and when I've got a decent amount of progress, I'll come back and show you so you can check out how I'm getting on with this gorgeous, gorgeous pattern. So I'm going to leave it there for today. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so, so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Just a little side note. The lady that won the Impkin twin on the Impkin Vote Live Saturday, just a couple of days ago, she has been in contact. She has realised she has won, and she chose the more orangey Impkin to adopt. So that Impkin will be making its way to Kimberley as soon as I have the funds and the means to get to the post office. So just need to keep trying for the next 3, guys. I am going to do my best to make a twin for every Impkin that we do. We are planning to do 6 for the year, so 3 have already been adopted. There will hopefully be 3 more chances, so don't be despondent. There are more Impkins to come. But anyway, this video isn't about Impkins. I just wanted to give you an update that the winner has been in touch. So once again, thank you for your time. Please do come back tomorrow, because I am going to be talking to you about another charity donation project that I've got myself involved in. So if charitable donations and things like that are your jam, please do come back and check out tomorrow's video. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Bye guys, love you loads.